The airport announcement echoed in 3 languages, but Simbi heard none of it. Her finger hovered over the send button, the goodbye message to Director Han glowing on her screen. Behind her, security was calling final boarding. In front of her, the exit doors promised escape. She'd won the battle against his mother, exposed his ex's lies, proven her worth to everyone. Everyone except him. And now, with 43 unanswered texts burning in her phone and his name flashing across the screen as he called, she had exactly 60 seconds to make a choice that would change everything. But let's go back to where it all started falling apart. If you haven't watched the first part of Simbi and Director Han's love story, I recommend you go watch it right away so you don't miss how they fell for each other. The moment he kissed her to prove a point to his ex, and that unforgettable night at the gala that changed everything. 3 weeks had passed since the gala, and for the first time since arriving in Seoul, Simbi felt like she belonged. Tonight, they were in his apartment, the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Han River. He'd insisted on teaching her how to make kimchi jjigae, claiming her instant ramen habits needed intervention. "You're cutting those too thick," he said, leaning over her shoulder. She tilted her head, their faces inches apart. "Maybe I like them thick," he laughed, placing his hand over hers, guiding the knife. "That's not how it works." They ate together on the couch, and when she fed him a piece of kimchi, he made an exaggerated face that made her laugh so hard she nearly spilled her soup. He brushed a strand of hair behind her ear, his fingers lingering against her cheek. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for not giving up on me. After Yuna, I thought I was broken." "You're not broken," she whispered. "You're just careful." He kissed her then, soft and slow. When they pulled apart, he rested his forehead against hers. "Promise me that no matter what happens, you'll tell me the truth, even when it's hard. I promise," she said. But promises were easier to make than to keep. The following Saturday, he took her somewhere she'd never expected. Not a fancy restaurant or a corporate event. His grandmother's house in Bukchon Hanok village. "She's the only one who matters," he said as they walked through the traditional wooden gate. "If she approves of you, nothing else matters to me." His grandmother was tiny, sharp-eyed, and the moment she saw Simbi, she smiled. She spoke in the thick Gyeongsang dialect of Busan, her words flowing so rapidly that Simbi could only catch fragments despite her months of study. Director Han noticed her struggling and stepped in to translate, a fond smile on his face. "She says, you have kind eyes, that you look at my grandson the way her late husband used to look at her, like he's your home." Simbi's throat tightened with emotion. His grandmother prepared tea with practiced movements, then surprised Simbi by pulling out a small wooden box. Inside was a delicate jade bracelet. She placed it on Simbi's wrist, speaking softly. "She wore this when she married my grandfather." Director Han translated, his voice thick with emotion. "She says it's meant for the woman who will love me despite my flaws, not because I'm perfect." Tears slipped down Simbi's cheeks. That night, they sat on his grandmother's rooftop, Seoul's lights twinkling like stars below them. He pulled her close, and she rested her head on his shoulder. "In my culture," Simbi said softly, "we have a saying, love is not about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone whose imperfections fit perfectly with yours." He kissed the top of her head. "Then we're a perfect fit." She turned to look at him, the jade bracelet catching the moonlight. "Promise me something else. Promise me you'll fight for us, no matter what comes." "I promise," he whispered, "always." But some promises are harder to keep than others. The next morning, something felt different at the office. Eyes followed her, conversations paused when she passed. Minji appeared beside her desk, concern written across her face. "We need to talk," Minji said, leading her to the break room. People are saying Director Han is getting pressure from the board about you. Someone's been raising concerns about conflicts of interest, favoritism. Who? No one knows, but whoever it is has influence. Minji squeezed her arm. Just watch your back. A text from Director Han interrupted them. My office. Now. He stood with his back to the door, shoulders tense. When he turned, his face was carefully composed, but his eyes revealed the storm beneath. My mother called this morning. She's coming to Seoul. Simbi's breath caught. That's good, right? He let out a bitter laugh. You don't understand. My mother isn't like other people. She sits on the board of directors. She has influence over everything I've built. He took her hands. Whatever happens, whatever she says, we face it together. She nodded, but the knot in her stomach refused to loosen. The restaurant his mother chose was intimidating, the kind of place with private rooms and prices that cost more than monthly rent. His mother sat waiting, perfectly poised in a tailored hanbok, her expression unreadable. When they entered, she didn't stand. She simply observed. So, his mother said in Korean, cold as winter steel, you are the woman my son has been seeing. Yes, ma'am, Simbi replied in Korean, respectful but steady. It's an honor to meet you, a slight raise of an eyebrow. Your Korean is adequate. Tell me about your family. The questions came rapid fire. Her parents' occupations, her education, her career goals. Why Korea? Why her son? Each answer met with a slight nod. No indication whether it's satisfied or disappointed. Director Han grew more tense with each exchange. Then his mother switched to English. Tell me, Miss Simbi, do you understand what it means to be part of a family like ours? The expectations, the scrutiny, the sacrifices required. Simbi met her eyes directly. I understand that love requires sacrifice, but it shouldn't require losing yourself. The temperature dropped. Love, how idealistic. His mother set down her teacup with deliberate precision. My son is not just a man, he is a legacy. She turned to Director Han, switching back to Korean. We need to speak. Privately. Simbi waited outside for 45 minutes. When Director Han finally emerged, his face was stone. What did she say? Simbi asked. She thinks you're using me for career advancement, for a visa, for status. He looked at her, pain in his eyes. She wants me to end this. She says if I don't, she'll use her position on the board. For both of us, mostly for you. The reality settled over her. So, what do? We prove her wrong, he said, taking her hand. What they didn't know was that across town, another meeting was taking place. His mother sat in a luxury hotel bar as Yuna arrived. Thank you for agreeing to meet, Mrs. Han. Yuna said smoothly, if you're already hooked, hit that subscribe button right now because what these two are about to plan will change everything. The ending of this story, you absolutely need to see it for yourself. Now let's hear what they're plotting. You said you had information about my son's relationship. I don't want to see him hurt again. And that woman isn't who she pretends to be. Yuna pulled out a tablet. Did you know she was in significant debt before coming to Korea? That her visa initially failed? His mother studied the screen. What are you suggesting? Perhaps her interest in your son isn't as romantic as he believes. The media would love this story. Foreign employee, questionable background, workplace relationship. The scandal could damage the company significantly. And what do you want in return? Yuna smiled subtly. I want things to go back to the way they should be. His mother was quiet, calculating. You do what I say. When I say it. They shook hands. An alliance formed, and Simbi had no idea the storm gathering on the horizon. Monday morning, Simbi walked into the office to find the atmosphere had shifted. The whispers had intensified into something darker. She reached her desk to find an email. Mandatory meeting with HR. 10 a.m. At precisely 10 o'clock, she sat across from the HR manager, a thick folder between them. Miss Simbi, Mrs. Choi began carefully. We've received a formal complaint regarding workplace conduct and potential conflicts of interest. What kind of complaint? It's been suggested that your rapid advancement may have been influenced by personal relationships rather than professional merit. That's not true. Every project I've led has exceeded expectations. We're required to investigate. Until then, you'll be temporarily reassigned from Director Han's direction. Supervision. Who filed this complaint? That's confidential. As Simbi left, she found Yuna in the hallway, positioned exactly where she could be seen. I heard about your HR meeting, Yuna said with false sympathy. How unfortunate. This was you. I simply raised concerns, as someone who cares about this company's integrity. Yuna's mask slipped. Tell me, Simbi, how does it feel knowing everyone here is wondering if you earned anything or just caught the right person's attention? In his office, Director Han was on the phone, fury radiating from him. Who authorized this investigation? My mother? The board approved it? When? Lee Min-ho entered with worse news. Someone leaked to the press. Business Journal Korea is running a story tomorrow. Nepotism or romance. Foreign employees raises questions. Director Han looked murderous. Find out who leaked this. I want names. That evening, Simbi stared at her laptop. The job offer email sat in her inbox. Received 3 days ago at a conference. Head of International Development at Tech Vision Korea. 40% salary increase. Company-sponsored visa. Everything she dreamed of. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Miss Simbi? His mother's cool voice said, We need to talk. Woman to woman. Mrs. Han, if this is about... I know about the job offer from Tech Vision. I'm the one who arranged for CEO Kim to make it. Simbi's world tilted. You what? I'm giving you an out. A dignified exit. You take the job, save your reputation, continue your career. Everyone wins. Everyone except your son. Who I love. Love. You've known him 8 months. I've known him his entire life. His mother paused. The board meets Wednesday. By Friday, you'll be terminated for workplace misconduct. Your visa will be revoked. You'll leave Korea as a scandal. Is that what you want? The line went dead. A knock at her door. Director Han stood there, worry and determination on his face. Why didn't you tell me about the job offer? How did you... CEO Kim called to apologize. Said my mother pressured him. Director Han walked in, taking in the scattered documents. You were actually considering it. Of course I considered it. Your mother is destroying my career. Your ex filed a false complaint. The media is calling me a gold digger. What did you expect me to do? I expected you to trust me, to tell me, not hide things like Yuna did. Don't you dare compare me to her. Simbi's voice shook with fury. She left you for a job. I'm fighting to keep both my job and you. Those are not the same thing. By considering an offer from my competitor, an offer my mother arranged to get rid of you, I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't ask to fall in love with my boss. I didn't ask for your ex to sabotage me. I didn't ask for your mother to treat me like I'm not worthy. She was breathing hard, tears threatening. I came to this country with nothing but my skills. I earned my place at Hanjin. But no matter what I do, people only see me as the African woman dating the director. That's not how I see you, isn't it? Because right now, you're accusing me instead of fighting beside me. Silence hung heavy. I'm terrified, Simbi, he said, his voice breaking. Terrified. I'm going to lose you. Terrified I'm the reason your career is being destroyed. Terrified my mother is right, that staying with me only hurts you. So, what are you saying? Maybe you should take the job. Simbi stared at him, devastated. Get out. Simbi, I said, get out. He left. She stood alone, tears finally falling. But even as she cried, something harder was building inside her. They thought they could break her, They had no idea who they were dealing with. By Wednesday morning, Simbi's tears had dried. She'd spent the night going through every document, every email, and she'd found something that changed everything. The board meeting started at 9. She wasn't invited. Her fate would be decided without her input. She dressed in her best suit, the one from the gala. She looked in the mirror and saw not the scared girl who'd arrived 8 months ago, but a woman who had earned her place. The boardroom was on the top floor. His mother sat at the head of the table. Yuna sat in the back, satisfied smile in place. Mrs. Choi was presenting the investigation findings. Simbi didn't knock. She opened the door and walked in. The room fell silent. "This is a closed session," his mother said coldly. Simbi walked to the centre, placing her folder on the table. "Members of the board, I'm aware I wasn't invited, but as the subject of this investigation, I have a right to address the allegations. You have no right to be here. Then you'll have to have me physically removed, because I'm not going anywhere until I've had my say." She looked around the room. "I've prepared a complete record of every project I've worked on, every decision, every result. My performance speaks for itself." She opened the folder methodically. Project reports showing exceeded targets, client feedback praising her work, financial data proving her value. She laid each piece on the table. "But I've also compiled evidence that the HR complaint was based on fabricated evidence." Yuna shifted uncomfortably. "The complaint claims I received preferential treatment on the TechBridge project, but I was assigned to that team 2 months before I ever met Director Han personally." She placed the document down. "My promotion was approved by a committee of 5 executives who don't report to Director Han, and it was based on a review conducted before anyone knew about our relationship." She continued, dismantling each accusation with facts and dates. Board members leaned forward, actually engaging. "Now, let's talk about the real reason this complaint was filed." Simbi turned to Yuna, "And why someone who doesn't even work here anymore has been given access to confidential personnel files." Yuna went pale. "This is a record of system access logs. Someone using Yuna's old credentials accessed my personnel file 17 times in the past month." She looked at Mrs. Choi. "I'm sure it can verify this." The board erupted in murmurs, but here's what's really interesting. Simbi pulled out another document. This is an email exchange between Ms. Yuna and someone using a personal account registered to Mrs. Han. In it, they discuss strategies for undermining my position, including fabricating evidence. His mother stood abruptly. "That's enough, is it? Because I also have evidence that Mrs. Han pressured CEO Kim to make me a job offer, specifically designed to look like I was planning to betray this company." "How dare you?" his mother began. "How dare I? How dare I defend myself against a coordinated campaign to destroy my career?" She looked around the room. "I came to this company with nothing but my skills. I've worked harder than anyone to prove I deserve to be here, and I will not let personal vendettas destroy what I've built." Mr. Park, an older board member, cleared his throat. "Mrs. Han, is this true? Did you collude with a former employee to manufacture evidence?" His mother's jaw clenched. "My son's judgment was compromised. I was protecting the company by breaking company policy, by violating employee privacy." Mr. Park's voice grew stern. "Your concerns are noted, but your methods are completely unacceptable." The boardroom door opened. Director Han walked in, looking from Simbi to his mother to the documents. "What's going on?" Mr. Park spoke up. "Your girlfriend just presented evidence that your mother and ex-girlfriend conspired to frame her." Director Han's expression went from confusion to fury. He turned to his mother. "Tell me this isn't true." Silence. He crossed the room to stand beside Simbi. "I apologize to everyone, but especially to Simbi. I should have trusted her. I should have fought harder." He looked at the board. If you need to investigate conflicts of interest, investigate me. But Simbi has done nothing wrong. Mr. Park nodded slowly. I think we need to reconvene after reviewing all evidence. In the meantime, he looked at Mrs. Han. I recommend you recuse yourself from any decisions regarding Miss Simbi or your son. His mother gathered her things with sharp movements. This isn't over, she said, looking at Simbi. You're right, Simbi replied. It's not, because I'm not going anywhere. As everyone filed out, as Yuna tried to slip away, as his mother left without another word, Simbi finally let herself breathe. Director Han moved toward her, but she held up a hand. Not here, not now. She walked out with her head high, leaving behind the chaos, the exposed truths. The battle somehow won. But as the adrenaline faded, one question haunted her. She'd fought for her career, proven her worth, defended her integrity. But in doing so, she'd gone to war with his mother. She'd exposed his ex's betrayal. She'd put him in an impossible position between his family and the woman he loved. Her phone buzzed continuously as she walked to the parking garage. Text after text from Director Han. Please, let me explain. I was wrong. Don't shut me out. Where are you? Each message made her chest tighter, but she didn't reply. Not yet. Maybe not ever. That evening, she sat in her apartment staring at the suitcase open on her bed. The job offer from Tech Vision was still on the table. CEO Kim had called personally, apologizing for his mother's manipulation, but reiterating that the offer was genuine. They wanted her, not because of who she was dating, not because of connections or politics, just her. Her phone rang. Director Han. She let it go to voicemail, then another call. And another. Finally, she turned it off completely. The next morning, she made her decision. Incheon International Airport was bustling with travellers, the departure boards flickering with destinations across the world. Simbi stood in the terminal, her carry-on bag beside her, her heart hammering in her chest. She'd booked a ticket, not to take the Tech Vision job, not to run away forever, just to go home, to see her family, to remember who she was before all of this. She pulled out her phone, turning it on for the first time in hours. Immediately, it flooded with messages. 43 texts from Director Han, 15 missed calls, voice messages she couldn't bring herself to listen to. She opened a new message. Her fingers trembled as she typed. I fought for us. I fought for my career. I fought against your mother, your ex, and everyone who tried to break me. But the one fight I can't win is the one against your doubt. When it mattered most, you told me to leave. So I'm giving you what you asked for. I'm leaving. Maybe not forever. Maybe just for now. But I need you to understand something. I didn't come to Korea to be saved. I came here to build a life. And I won't stay anywhere I have to keep proving I deserve to exist. I love you. But love isn't enough when trust is broken. Goodbye, Director Han. Her finger hovered over the send button. Once she pressed it, everything would change. There would be no taking it back. She took a deep breath and pressed send. The message showed delivered. Then, almost immediately, the 3 dots appeared. He was typing. Her heart stopped. What would he say? Would he beg her to stay? Would he let her go? Would he finally fight for her the way she'd fought for him? The airport announcement echoed overhead in Korean, then English. Final boarding call for Flight 2. She looked up at the departure board. Her gate was closing in 10 minutes. The 3 dots kept pulsing. He was still typing. The message was taking too long. What was he saying? Then her phone rang. His name flashed across the screen. Director Han calling. Her hand shook as she stared at it. Answer or let it ring? Stay or go? Trust him, one. More time or protect her heart? The phone kept ringing. The final boarding announcement echoed again. Passengers around her rushed toward their gates. Her gate was in the opposite direction of the exit. One choice, one moment. Everything hung in the balance. She closed her eyes, her thumb hovering over the screen. And then, what did Simbi decide? Did she answer the call or board that plane? And what was Director Han about to say that took so long to type? Part 3 drops soon, and nothing will ever be the same. Comment below, should Simbi answer the phone, or is it time for her to choose herself? Your answer might just influence what happens next.